All right, and we are live. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the End of Day Report with yours truly, Dex the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world's most respected trading system. The daily PulseWave price trigger reports delivered to your hand every single market trading day. Today's no different. Hope everyone had a profitable and prosperous trading day today. If you did not, it's probably because you didn't have the price trigger reports in your hand. You need to get those. Before we get started, I have learned that today it was reported. I saw that rapper Fred the Godson has passed away, the coronavirus claiming yet another victim. It's reported that he had the coronavirus and that he has now passed away. So that is another loss. He was a very well respected MC. They were trying to get him to come over to the battle arena because of his unique lyrical style and wordplay. That would have been very interesting to see. So I'm sure his family is grieving. So our condolences go out to his family, and it's just tragic to hear stuff like that. So once again, our condolences to the family of rapper Fred the Godson up in NYC, passed away due to coronavirus. So R.I.P. Fred the Godson. All right. Things are getting pretty dire and very worrisome in the world of finance and economics. It's not looking good. Just when I thought that I could, emerge from the lab safely and not have to worry about being in the lab for a while, now I'm going to have to go back in the lab, but this time not worrying about algos, not worrying about price trigger reports. All that stuff is done. What I'm going to have to do now is finish digging into all of this news that is coming up. I'm getting blazed up with intel, not just from the media and stuff like that, but from other sources, people pulling me aside, letting me know what's going down. Yo, there's a lot of stuff going down, fam. It's not looking too good. All right. It's hard to believe we're living in this world, but we are. Um, Talib Kweli still alive, to my understanding. Yeah. Um, he has a channel here on YouTube where he does this podcast joint. The last one he did was just a few days ago. Where he had the RZA on there, and because RZA and DJ Premier had a battle of the beats thing that they were doing. A lot of celebrities and stuff been doing things like that. During the lockdown. Doing it for the hip hop community, stuff like that, different things. So, um, yeah, he's to my understanding, Talib is still alive and kicking. Like I said, he just interviewed um, the RZA after the battle of the beats that he had with DJ Premier. So anyway, I think if you just type in Talib Kweli in the YouTube search bar, his YouTube channel with that podcast that he does will come up. He does a podcast with a young lady. I forget her name, but it is a dope podcast. He interviews a lot of MCs and people that are in the hip hop community and stuff like that. So I think you guys would like it. Straight up, Talib Kweli's thing that he does is pretty dope. I know, um, man, what's his name? Lord Jamar. Lord Jamar also has a podcast. Him and Rod Digger. They have a podcast. It's called the Godcast. I think it's called Yada Yada podcast. If you type that up in YouTube, that'll come up too. That's a pretty dope podcast. Also, Godfrey, the comedian Godfrey, is on there also with them, and it's a really good podcast as well. You know, Lord Jamar is part of the Nations of Gods and Earths. All right, so he is God body, so he does incorporate that into everything that he does. So for those that don't know what that is, again, you can Google search that, and you can find all about that. I'm not going to go into that here. I have addressed that before in the past. But it is a good podcast. They talk a lot. They have a lot of interviews as well. Talk about current events. Lord Jamar is also a regular guest on Vlad TV. I'm sure most of you have subscribed to that here on YouTube as well. And you know, Vlad does a lot of interviews. You don't just have rappers on there. He got musicians, actors, actresses, politicians, you name it. He interviews a lot of people. So that's, and those interviews are pretty good too. So a lot of people on YouTube doing their thing. One of the people I know I'm going to miss is Witherspoon, Mr. Witherspoon. You know, who passed away a little while back from the Friday series with Ice Cube. He always played the dad. You know, he passed away not long ago also. So that's a big gaping hole in the acting world as well. A lot of people, man, we're losing a lot of people since this whole coronavirus thing has come about. So everybody, please take care of yourself when you're out and about. It's just getting real crazy out here. Like I said, it's a lot of stuff going down. All right, so let me deal with the elephant in the room first, and you know we got a lot of charts to get into this evening, so we're gonna get right into it. First and foremost, I think it's pretty much now a full-gone conclusion that we're dealing with a weaponized bio warfare, a bio weapon. I was one of the first people to talk to you about that when it first came out. I told you what to look for. And that's exactly what has happened. It has morphed into something a lot bigger than it was when it was first brought up. Now they're talking about 3 different strands of it out there, where it's just now coming to light. We have learned that this does also look like a type of a false flag event being blamed on China. There's evidence that has emerged that says that the U.S., along with a few other nations, were over there in China for some sort of an exercise around the same time that this coronavirus thing came to light. It's also been learned that there were remnants of coronavirus here in the United States months before it even came up in Wuhan. There's evidence that has emerged that says that the U.S. planted that and staged that leak in Wuhan, knowing that the biolab in Wuhan would be scapegoated. Okay. How many times has there been some type of a military exercise followed by an amazing event? All right. I can't even name you all of them because there are too many to name. The most famous one that we know of was 9/11. At the time of the World Trade Center attacks, military war games were being carried out in reference to the 9/11 attacks. This seems to be the case over and over and over again. And not just in the United States, but worldwide. There's always some type of an exercise that is similar or exactly the same as the so-called terrorist event that takes place. All right. So this is absolutely disturbing and it's devastating. It has also come to light that right before this coronavirus event took place, did you notice how they attacked the vaping industry and was saying that the lung issues that were being caused by vaping was the issue, when vaping had nothing to do with it. It was the bio weapon, the coronavirus bio weapon, that was hurting and killing people. It had nothing to do with the vaping. Nothing to do with the vaping. Nothing to do with the vaping. I repeat, nothing to do with the vaping. All right? Nothing. Therefore, we are at war, all right, but not with an unseen enemy. It seems that we are at war with elements within our own government that is trying to take down the country, that wants to see World War III, that wants to see famine and disease rampant and ravaged within the nations. They want to see this. They want to bring down the economies. Why do you think they've been giving stupid, idiotic advice amidst the COVID-19? They told everybody to stay home. Now, it doesn't take a mathematician to see that since we've been in lockdown, the cases of coronavirus have escalated exponentially. All right? And this is during the lockdown. Not before the lockdown, during the lockdown. Okay? This is disturbing, you guys. This is absolutely disturbing. Then it comes to light that in the state of Connecticut, they now are going to be flying pandemic drones, and they will be hunting for COVID carriers. How in the world do you know if someone has COVID-19 if they keep coming on the news saying there's no way to test people? All the testing things that they're using give false positives. Good grief. But this is the Orwellian world that people have been begging for. All right. And if that isn't bad enough, there was a report of a small business owner who told their people they could come back to work. And their people got angry and said they don't want to come back to work. They want the unemployment checks. People have already been conditioned in their minds to accept basic universal income. They want it. And you know what else is sad? People's response to this whole situation has been absolutely reprehensible. What is America going to do when a real crisis happens, one that is not manufactured, not a false flag, not a conspiracy, not a deep state event, but what are they going to do when something really jumps off? God forbid Yellowstone erupts. Do you understand what level of catastrophe that would be? What about this other fault line that goes up and down the East Coast all the way up into Canada? What do they do if that thing goes and we get something on the Richter scale of a 10 or greater? And what if that kicks off Yellowstone? And what if that kicks off the other fault line in California? What are people going to do with some type of a catastrophic event like that? You got magnitude 10 earthquakes on both East and West Coast, and Yellowstone goes up. That will pretty much be the end of the USA, period. There will be a big gaping crater hole in the Midwest. What would people do then? People are bugging and fighting over items in the grocery stores, and there's no need for that. I'll tell you what people are going to do. I'm going to tell you how bad this is about to get. All right? So just follow with me here because I want y'all to hear me, and I want everybody that's listening to be safe. Okay? So here we go. Here's how this would go down. All right. You're on your way to the grocery store. A couple items, little odds, ends you need to get. All right. You're in there. Don't take you that long. Not too many people in the store. You're on your way to your car in the parking lot. Here's how it goes. A group of dudes dressed in all black in a pickup truck. Here's their conversations about you as you come out of the store. Yo, there you go, right there. There you go. Look, come on, hurry up, hurry up. Wait till we get to the car. Wait till we get to a car. All right, look, you get the rice, and you get that meat. We need that chicken. You hear me? And don't spill the rice. I don't want to be picking up rice off the ground, man. All right, here you go. Here you go. Get him, hurry up. What are you doing? Give me back my groceries. Give me back my groceries. Shut up. Man, why you shoot him? You shot the rice, you idiot. Now the rice is pouring all over the ground. Hurry up, get in the car. The police are coming. Hurry up, get in the car. Let's drive. That would be the scene across the United States. That's what it's going to be. You will need to have protection just to go to the grocery store every day. I can see a new industry born in the midst of all this called We Got Your Back, where groups of gangs, various gangs, would be, you could hire them. They'll be for hire. They say, okay, here's a list of our fee schedule. If we have to drive with you 5 miles, 5 miles requires a bag of rice and 3 hand sanitizers. If we have to go 10 miles with you, we're going to need 2 bags of rice, and we're going to need 2 packs of chicken, whether it be thighs, wings, or drumsticks, don't matter, but that's the fee for 10 miles. Anything greater than 10 miles, okay, and requires more than 3 men armed with machetes and machine guns, okay, then we're going to have to, that's a case by case, and we'll have to talk to you about that as far as how far you're going and what you're going to get. That's how it will be. You will have to hire a gang to go with you to the grocery store so you don't get jacked on your way home. Straight up. I could see that being a big business. And I ain't talking at night because there'll be curfew. You won't be able to be out at night. But I'm talking about during the daytime, so you don't get jacked during the daytime just to go to the store. Straight up. This is where we're going. This is where we are going. And it's getting really pathetic. All right, so let's talk about the market. So today the market had a nice little technical bounce rally, and then into the close, we gave up the ghost. As I'm speaking to you right now, we're already in the negative on the stock indexes from the futures. Now, because of the volatility, this necessarily doesn't mean anything either. The market could rock and roll tomorrow on to the upside. That doesn't mean too much right now in the grand scheme of things, but we still got to deal with it. All right, we still got to talk about it. All right, like I told you in the beginning, we have a lot of charts to get into. No particular order, so let's just go ahead and start knocking some of these out. All right, because we have a plethora of charts. If you come late and you missed a segment, rather than me go over it again, you'll just have to rewatch the video, all right? Because we got a lot of charts. All right, first of all, we're going to start with Bitcoin. All right, so here's your Bitcoin Futures Composite Index, which is now located in the USD Crypto Report. I added this, so you'll have it right there for you, okay? All right, so as you can see, we had this primary rally alert back here. Then it was kicked out by this primary crash alert. Then we got another primary rally alert. Market breaks out. Now we got a secondary rally alert. This one is in a continuation pattern. I'm anticipating more rallying for tonight into tomorrow for Bitcoin. All right, looks like the Bitcoin is broken above resistance. Remember, I told you the resistance zone was from 7,000 to 7,500. The futures composite index already is at 77.10 in the overnight session. and we have since pulled back to 76.10. All right, overnight low so far was 75.35. So this is where we are. We got the beginning stages of a bullish weekly trend momentum. Looks like the market wants to go from a bearish to a bullish position. We haven't trended yet, haven't gotten to that stage yet, haven't developed yet. We still got the ticking time bomb, but the market is building as of today. So this is looking really good. As long as this futures composite index can close above 7,121 tomorrow, and when I say tomorrow, that means from Friday until Sunday, 6 p.m. All right, that's what we're going to need for the Bitcoin to close above. If it does, it swings that door wide open for a big time rally for next week in the crude oil. All right, I'm sorry, I said crude oil in the Bitcoin. All right, so that's your Bitcoin. Got to close tomorrow above 71.21. When I say tomorrow, that means Friday, and it extends until Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's where we need to be. All right. Taking a look now at bonds, ticker TLT. So we're coming off that primary crash alert, has not manifested yet, but we got 3 to 5 days out. This is just day number 1. So we still got time to see what this market is going to do. These daily ranges have been absolutely pathetic when we're coming from bars like this. We're coming from bars like this to these little microscopic, narrow range, inside day type of patterns. And I'm thinking that, at some point, the market will probably start getting into a vortex situation, but around 165-ish. We'll see how we go, but that's what it's looking like for right now. So I don't think we're going to continue breaking out. This is not a bullish pointer, if that's what you were thinking. It is not. All right, so we'll see where we go from here. But if we fail here, then that counts as a failed top, and then we roll over, and it could get pretty bad on the way down. This is a pointer. This is a bearish pointer. At some point, we're coming there. All right, let's take a look now at Swan. All right, Swan stands to do very well if the equity market stages a comeback and continues to rally. This one will do really, really, really well in light of that. But we do have a primary crash alert here. We're coming off of that bullish weekly trend momentum that has been lost. We can possibly regain it tomorrow if we get a rally. If not, this one is in jeopardy of rolling over as well. This is a weird type of Akumo cloud configuration right now, and it's looking like there's a possibility that this market could possibly, roll over. Now we had this craziness back here. Look at this bar. This bar is crazy right here. Crazy right here. All right. This represents a long-term trading range, which the market will probably trade within that. Now, in the grand scheme of things, granted to you, it's only like a $4 range, $4 or $5 range. It just looks massive, but no, it's only about $4 or $5. All right, so we're probably just going to hang out here for a little bit longer, but this will be the place to be if we start rallying again. All right. Looking at your S&P 500, your E-mini, looking at ticker SPY, came off of that negative weekly trend momentum. We're in this Kumo cloud right now, and we're still in a bear market. We're still at the bottom of the Kumo cloud. We're still around this resistance, this trend line resistance has been a beast to deal with. This market is still technically in a correction, and it's looking like it wants to roll over and fall out of bed. Looking very bearish right now. Just saying, looking bearish in the S&P. All right, let's take another look. Here is SLV, taking a look at silver. SLV tracks your silver futures. We are in a bearish weekly trend momentum position. We're also in a correction off of this bear market rally. We're still in a bear. We got negative weekly trend momentum. We got a possibility of a rollover, because if it can't get above this resistance, we're probably going to roll over. I know we got this primary rally alert. Market did break out, but it's going to need to really come out and push out of this cloud if we're going to really see something. This market, SLV, needs to close above $14.13 tomorrow, or it's a wrap. The little bit of rally you did see is going to get sold off into next week. Taking a look at the triple Q right now is in no man's land. You are in a corrective state. Got your ticking time bomb here. Your momentum is trying to hang in there. You're coming off of this primary rally alert. I think you're range bound, and I think you just got up here near resistance, and now this one is looking like it wants to roll over. So your QQQ is suspect right now. I think the trading range for now has been established. If it can stay above the trend line support, then you could get another run, a top resistance. If not, then it's in trouble. It needs to close tomorrow above $210.74. All right. Failure to do so opens that door wide open for selling for next week. All right, taking a look now at the crude oil complex, looking at ticker OIH. All right, here we go, bouncing around off of these lows. It still is not really rallying. It's just bouncing around. Overhead resistance is here. Kumo cloud is way up here. Where do we go from here? Absolutely nowhere. I think this is just going to continue to move sideways. So because we're in a bear market, I'm still seeing sideways to slightly lower prices. The only way to put in a short-term bottom is to get a good close above $91.28, which is very possible. So it's going to need to hold it tomorrow if it wants to have that door open for more rallying for next week. Taking a look at Litecoin now, jumping over to the crypto space. Litecoin right here, it's in a bear market. All right. Testing the upper resistance levels. Trend line resistance is right overhead. That's a strong resistance. Litecoin needs to close above $41.87. Failure to do so will open the door for more selling into next week. All right, taking a look at the junk bond ETF. Same thing. It's in a bearish configuration, but you're in a non-trending situation with no momentum. It's all weakness. Had a primary rally alert, failed the rally. You still got 3 to 5 days to prove yourself to see if it's going to try to stage a comeback. But with this negative overhead weekly trend momentum, it's looking like it's going to fail here and then get sold. We shall see. Taking a look at the JDST, as you know, that one is flat until there's like a huge correction. This is going to stay like this as long as GDX is strong. So we don't have anything there to look at. All right, here's your real estate is in the same boat, but a little bit weaker than the equity market. Ticker IYR, overhead resistance right here. You're in the bear market and you got bearish momentum. You came off of a primary rally alert. Market's looking like it just wasn't ready to do it yet. We got 3 to 5 days to prove this alert. Other than that, if not, then it's going to roll over. Just needs to close tomorrow above $73.36 if it's going to put in a short-term bottom here. All right, moving right along. All right, here is HDGE, which will be the place to be if the equity market is going to roll over. We got the beginning stages of bearish weekly trend momentum kicking in on this daily chart. We are in the Kumo cloud and right here at the trend line support. Tomorrow, this thing needs to close above $6.47. Failure to do so would open the door for selling into next week. All right, and that's HDGE. Moving right along now, taking a look at the Illuminati index, taking a look at a hack. All right, so hack staged a real big comeback. We got this primary crash alert. We got no follow through. Instead, we got a primary rally alert on the back of that. These two cancel each other out and provide a trading range. Market is trading within the range. It is respecting the range. What this thing needs to do, if it's going to do a little something, we need to close tomorrow above $38.78. Failure to do so, however, would open the door for the possibility of some massive selling. Now, barring another unforeseen event that could give this thing some legs and we could explode, but as it stands, we're no longer trending. We got that ticking time bomb. We're going absolutely nowhere until we do. All right. Taking a look now at GLD, looking at the gold complex. GLD is showing its strength here, beginning stages of bullish weekly trend momentum. We're in a bull market, bullish momentum. This one is called higher. It just needs to close above $160.82 in order to maintain its bullish momentum. All right, taking a look now at GDXJ, which has also been showing strength here. We are in a bull market. We do have bullish momentum. This one is called higher. All it needs to do is close above $39.16 to maintain its bullish momentum also. All right, taking a look at the pound sterling, going into the forex side of the aisle. We got bearish weekly trend momentum. You're trading below the overhead resistance, and you're right here at the Kumo cloud. This thing needs to close tomorrow above 123.83 if it is going to put in a short-term bottom and get a rally and a nice bounce into next week. Failure to do so, well, that opens the door for more selling, and then we could possibly revisit these lows. But as it stands, we're no longer trending. We got the ticking time bomb here, and we got bearish momentum, and we got bearish weekly trend momentum readings. You know what it is. Taking a look now at Ethereum, going back to the crypto space. We are right here testing the upper regions of the Kumo cloud, which is showing to be a problem. It is a resistance area. We got this primary crash alert followed by a primary rally alert. Market did begin to rally. We got the bullish momentum. We got the official beginning stages of a bullish weekly trend momentum and a bullish trend that is now officially developed. Ethereum has room to run. All Ethereum has to do is close above 178.69, and that opens the door for more buying into next week for Ethereum. All right, moving right along. All right, Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar should be able to see a nice bounce on the back of the crude oil bounce, but because of the overall geopolitical situation that is involving the oil space, Canadian dollar just can't get out of the doldrums. So it's just been chugging along here, bouncing off the trend line support. We're really not trending right now. We're still kind of trying to figure it out. We got a primary rally alert here. Then we got a secondary rally alert. Market just reversed and went the other way and said, forget it, I can't do it. We came off now of that bullish weekly trend momentum that has now been lost, and we're starting the beginning phase of a bearish weekly trend momentum. What would stop any selling pressure in your Canadian dollar? Well, the market needs to close above 141.13. If we can get a good close above 141.13, that would put in a short-term bottom. Failure to do so will open up the door for more selling into next week, and that could threaten the overall bull market. So we'll be watching for that. That's going to be critical. You don't want to lose this momentum. You're starting to lose that momentum. The bullish momentum is waning. Don't want to see that. You need to regain that. So tomorrow is on. Needs to do it. All right, looking at your Aussies, staying in the forex space. Got the beginning stages of a bullish weekly trend momentum readings starting to develop. All right. Could we get a breakout? Momentum is flat right now. Needs a breakout. Can we get it? Market needs to close above 6329, 6329. That's all you got to do to keep the door open for more bullishness into next week. This overhead resistance, though, is going to be tricky and could pose a problem for this market. All right. Just saying, got to do the work. Got to close above 63.29, and maybe that momentum can build. All right, taking a look now at the silver futures. We looked at LSLV earlier. You got a primary rally alert. Market did stick its head up today, bumped it on this trend line resistance. Perhaps tomorrow we can get some continuation pattern and some follow through, and maybe even open that door for more rallying into next week, despite the overhead weekly bearish trend momentum reading. What does silver need to do? Silver needs to close tomorrow above $15.33. If it can do that, then it can open the door up for more bullishness into next week. That would be great. All right, moving on now to gold futures. We looked at GLD earlier. Here's your gold futures counterpart. So what has happened is we have this primary rally alert. Market has broken out, but it is struggling up here at these lofty levels. You do have a bearish pointer right here, which is concerning. And you got the beginning stages of a bullish weekly trend momentum reading. Is that bullish momentum going to be enough to push through overhead resistance and test this pointer, this bullish pointer right here? I would say all things look good. It looks good that we're going to push through. What do we need to do? Market needs to close tomorrow above $1,724.80. If it can do it, then we open the door for more buying into next week, more bullishness. All right, and we could break that 1,800. All right, taking a look now at the US dollar index. It is trying to power up. You got bullish momentum, but you're really not going anywhere. You're not trending, and you got overhead resistance, which looks to be quite powerful, but you also have bullish weekly trend momentum. What does the US dollar need to do? It needs to close above par 13 tomorrow. That means 100.13. If it can do it, then it opens the door for more bullishness into next week, and we could get another rise out of this thing. We shall see. All right, looking now at the Dow futures. Dow futures. All right, so that bearish weekly trend momentum has now come off, but this overhead resistance still is a problem. All right, the overhead trend line resistance is a problem, and also it corresponds with the top of the Kumo cloud. That is a problem, and we are bearish, bear market. All right, it is that mature bear market is still there. I think the market right here is going to possibly roll over. What needs to happen? Well, the Dow needs to close tomorrow above 23,428. All right, if it's going to put in a short-term bottom. Failure to do so will open up the door for powerful selling next week. We're staring at the potential for powerful selling next week. Russell futures, from which I am still in a long position, albeit a small one in the micro. All right, this has a primary rally alert today. The market did do that, but then it just kind of gave up into the close. But we also, in doing so, formed a bullish pointer. We got the ticking time bomb, so we're going nowhere. Momentum also, too, is flat. Overhead trend line resistance seems to be a problem, along with the Kumo cloud. We got the beginning stages of a bullish weekly trend momentum. Is that enough to give us a test of the overhead trend line resistance, of which I can get out and take some profit? All right, so what do we need to do? We need to close above 1202.10 tomorrow. Got to close above 1202.10. If it can do it, then it opens the door for more bullishness into next week and possibly retesting this trend line resistance. It's been the weakest of the stock indexes, therefore it stands the best chance of actually getting a little bit more bullishness to it. All right, so this one is looking very interesting. All right, here is your crude oil futures, the one that we can't trade right now. All right, so we got this a bearish pointer that will be reckoned with, coming off of a primary rally alert. Market did kick in. It was up like $6 today or whatever, so that was looking really nice. It's a shame that I wasn't able to participate in that because they won't let you trade it. Momentum, though, is still in the bear camp. Trend is still in the bear camp. Overhead resistance is powerful and below the Kumo cloud. What does crude oil need to do? Needs to close tomorrow above $17.12 a barrel. Failure to do that would open up the door for selling into next week. All right, and here's the NASDAQ 100, which has been the strongest of the stock indexes, but something happened today. Something happened. We lost that bullish weekly trend momentum. Now we're nowhere. Momentum is technically flat, dead in the water. Nothing is happening. And we got overhead resistance. We're coming off a primary rally alert. Market did try to break out, but then just collapsed into the close. Still above trend line support, but we are threatening to roll over and drop below the Kumo cloud next week. What does the market need to do? Needs to close above 86.22 tomorrow. Failure to do so will open up the door for selling into next week for the NASDAQ 100. E-mini S&P 500, you're still bearish. Momentum is flat. You have no weekly trend momentum readings. It is flat. Coming off a primary rally alert, of which it also gave up the ghost into the close. Overhead resistance, which corresponds to the bottom of the Kumo cloud, is proving to be a problem. What does this market need to do? Needs to close above 27.92.5 tomorrow. Failure to do so would open the door for further selling. All right, that's all we got, fam. We did it. We got through it. We got through all of it. All right, so we went through the crypto space, the forex space, the equity space, and the future space. All done. We got it in. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget PulseWaveTrading.com. You know what to do. You know what it is. Stop playing around. Come over here and break some bread with us, make some money, learn a secondary income stream, because you're gonna need it, fam. All right, you know what my saying is: bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what profit you can and give nothing back. And I'm out. Peace. See y'all tomorrow morning for the pre-market pulse scan, and the rest of you I'll see you in the trading room. I'm out.